Nobody look. My hair isn't down. Hello, and welcome to the Pinfall Podcast. I'm your host, Liz, and I am joined as always by my co-host, Marcus. Happy Monday. It's Raw Day. Oh, look, he's so cute.
Well, Ethan Page.
I am once again wearing the same tank top from Friday. So
Very nice. I'm not.
I almost threw my Drew shirt on, but eye makeup's like orange and pink, and I just didn't think it would work.
Mm-hmm.
I am back on my Drew train like so hard right now.
I wish I could say the same.
I'm having fun.
My main gripe with Drew, which we saw today, is how much he's doing the "What do you think, audience? Should I have sympathy on this man?"
He's probably being tasked as like the fucking face of the company for Raw, at least, because
Bobby can't be.
who else is gonna hype up the company?
Because Bobby can't be.
Because the audience is supposed to hate Bobby. You gotta have like somebody that the audience is supposed to love.
Can the person that the audiences love not be someone who beat someone within an inch of their life with a chair in kayfabe?
Listen, I don't know about that one.
Rather the face of the company be like Damian Priest or
Stop. I'm having fun that Drew's not in like the title scene anymore. It's a good time.
I still don't understand how Drew is supposed to be the face in that feud. We'll get to the Raw recap in a minute, but fucking Jinder has done nothing heelish. What has Jinder done that has been the act of a heel?
Well, I mean, the whole reason that this feud started was because Jinder broke or like tried to destroy Drew's sword and then dragged him out of the Money in the Bank thing and beat him senseless.
All right. Well, he tried to destroy the sword because Drew attacked him.
Drew didn't attack him first.
Wasn't Money in the Bank before he destroyed the sword? You sure?
Almost positive.
But like, Drew also attacked his bike, even though Jinder destroyed a fake sword. Didn't actually cause any problems. Jinder Jinder was one of the only people who gave Corbin a chance. Gave him money to do something. It's what he's been wanting to do. And Drew beat Shanky within an inch of his life, as I already said. That's not a face move. Jinder's just mad that he had his opportunity taken. Understandably, Drew should not have had another one.
Let me say this now, because it's always the moment I start liking a wrestler that you start doubling down on how much you fucking hate them.
That's
always
not true.
happens.
That's not true.
It absolutely
That is
is.
not true. I liked Drew too. I liked Drew, and before you even said that you were turning and liking Drew this time around, I was not liking him.
Anyways, at the end of the day, what I'm saying is that Drew's still a really good wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
I've been enjoying watching him wrestle more and more often.
Right.
I've been enjoying his character work. It's not his fault that he's being written as this heelish face.
It does seem like he does seem more free in the ring. Like he's just letting
He seems
loose.
so much happier right now.
Yeah.
Like you can just tell in the way that he's been doing his work lately. It just.
Mm-hmm. But before we talk too much about Raw, this is the Raw post show. Had a pretty, it was a decent show today. Had Randy return.
There have been worse Raws, and Randy hasn't been released. So
Randy wasn't released. Randy turned on Riddle. So we'll probably be getting Randy versus Riddle at SummerSlam. Unless Riddle forgives Randy and something happens to turn him around. Because I don't know who else would go at who else would go after the Raw Tag Team title. Mansoor and Mustafa, like you said.
Maybe.
Low point of the night was definitely the Alexa Bliss dude drop stuff. That stuff was lame. But yeah, it's not much that happened on Raw. Bobby and MVP barely did anything. Rhea, Charlotte, and Nikki barely did anything. I guess that's what makes it decent when they focus on other stuff. So do you want to get into the news? If there is any.
Yeah, there's some news. All right. Let's see, where do we want to start off? All right, so Anna has her first post WWE booking.
Really?
Yes. She is going to be a featured guest at the Legends of the Ring Fan Fest on October 2nd. It's going to have Matt Hardy, Tyler Breeze, Fandango, Brian Cage, Tennille Dashwood. And also something that I think I forgot to talk about because it was probably on a busy day. She's been cast for the reboot of The Surreal Life.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. Based on where her kind of acting career is going, I feel like she's gonna give up wrestling.
It's possible. Because I think if she were to go, I don't think that she would be able to. I don't know how well she would do working at AEW at this point. Just because, like, she's like this, like, understandably, like this built-up woman in the sense of like how Mira's been talking about her.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how they would really book her if she were to come over there, and I don't know if she would. I don't know. I just don't know where she would really end up at this point.
Yeah, I don't know.
If she would keep wrestling. I'd say that she's a bad wrestler.
Oh. She's a good wrestler. I just don't think she would really fit in at AEW. But I mean, maybe she doesn't want to wrestle. Maybe she wants to turn to acting now.
Yeah, and if that's what she wants to do, that'll be awesome.
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
I know she was in a movie at the beginning of this year, maybe end of 2020, somewhere around that time.
I didn't know that.
She was in like some sci-fi movie.
All right. Also, Chelsea Green finally settled her trademark battle with the WWE. She gets to keep the rights to her birth name.
So stupid. It's like WWE then trademarks Laurel Van Ness.
I'm sure they can't. And then Kurt Angle said that he might need neck fusion surgery.
Yeah. Said time's coming up on that.
Yeah. Apparently he's got motor skill problems in his hands, his fingers, and his neck. He's got numbness down his arms and like a lot of neck pain. So he said that he's been putting this off for 15 years.
Wow.
So best of luck, Kurt. Please get that neck surgery.
Yeah.
And then the WWE news that we have today is very much based around Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Cole is rumored to have signed a new deal that will eventually see him on SmackDown. And I guess like he's getting paid like $1 million some odd dollars. And the main roster creative team has been told to start working on story material for him.
Well, at least if he's on SmackDown, he won't be as underutilized as he would be on Raw.
Yeah. And then just more details about the releases came out on Sunday or Saturday, I think. Basically, it turns out that they're restructuring NXT. In a string of tweets by Trevor Dame, Dame. Apparently, Dave Meltzer was talking about this. Sort of in what I said on Friday, Triple H and Shawn Michaels had no say in this whatsoever. So that kind of comfort. Because they were probably just as much like, what the fuck? We were. Vince, Pritchard, and Laurinaitis all had their say in it. Apparently moving more towards big guys and younger guys.
Yeah. And I had this idea when we were watching Karrion Kross versus Jeff Hardy. With that in mind, they're probably planning to actually have some crossovers between NXT and the main roster. Because they still want to have NXT as kind of like the up-and-comers in terms of kayfabe, but if they're going to have that crossover, they don't want the NXT wrestlers to look more intimidating and more experienced than the main roster guys. So there is that side to it that can at least be justified or at least be made sense of.
Yeah. But it does put like a lot of heads on the chopping blocks now.
Yeah.
We didn't get the releases that we kind of expected to get the following day, but still, apparently Dave Meltzer said that he doubts that the releases are done, and everyone's talking like that's not going to be it. And it makes you wonder because there's a lot of big stars on their show who are over the age of 30 or also small.
Tommaso Ciampa.
They did say that this wasn't going to be a hard and fast rule per se. Like there's going to be room for deviation. Probably.
I could definitely see Johnny Gargano being somebody that stays in the roster because he's got kind of the abilities, and he doesn't look very old, so he could pass off as like a less experienced wrestler than the main roster guys, and he can take out bigger guys. But somebody like Tommaso Ciampa is definitely getting the cut.
Well, is somebody that could potentially.
Right.
I don't want to sound too. When we speculate like this, it's not because we're excited about it by any means.
Definitely not. It's we're talking about it with dread in our voices.
I mean, like people like Thatcher. There's
Pete
room to
Dunne.
worry about him, and who still hasn't signed a new contract yet.
But yeah. The weird thing is, somebody like Bronson Reed 100% fits what they're looking for. He's big.
Yeah,
he's
young
massive,
and big.
And young, yeah.
I wonder if they're not looking for that kind of big though.
He literally, like, his gimmick was being colossal. Like, what else? What more do you want?
I mean, I guess that they've been like, Odyssey Jones has been at a lot of SmackDown tapings lately and Raw tapings. So,
and yeah,
I guess maybe that is the type of I don't know. But apparently there's a lot of people that are working in NXT right now, like not wrestlers, but like people in offices that are fucking nervous about this because they didn't have a say in the way this is getting all restructured.
And
USA is pissed.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
USA
say.
is like, oh my god, they're mad about this. Which I think is like kind of one of those things where if you're gonna totally restructure your show and change a lot of things about it and release major players, maybe you should clear it with the people that host your show technically.
Yeah. I think I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I definitely think that they should take NXT off of live TV and put it on a streaming service. Put it on Hulu so they can have a big streaming product that will introduce younger audiences to the WWE and increase that accessibility, because right now what they have on streaming services is not enough to get people into wrestling. Like Main Event and 205 Live, that is not enough to get people involved, and it's not a easy access point for people. If you put NXT on there, fantastic. That's a great way for people to start and then say, oh, I might be interested in Raw or SmackDown. You know, I don't think it belongs.
I wish there was like some sort of oracle that we could like talk to and be like, okay, have they thought about this? And like the oracle can be like, yes, they did, and it didn't work. Like that. But it's just, I think for the fans to be shocked by this and pissed off, for Triple H and Shawn Michaels to probably be a little shocked by this.
Yeah.
For the literal network that's hosting the show to be shocked by this. This doesn't seem like a good fucking move. It seems like a very bad move.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it has both of us kind of wondering if like it's going to even be a watchable product in a couple of months.
Right, if it goes back to the Curtis Axel era. But Miriam did say that NXT is on Hulu on the new episode added the day after airing thing. So, okay. Then I take back what I said. It can be it's on both, so.
Yeah.
But I feel like there should be a partnership with Hulu or something, rather than a partnership with USA. But
try the AEW angle. Put it on YouTube.
I think 205 Live and Main Event should be on YouTube. But I still think NXT will be watchable. I don't think it will be anywhere near the same as we're watching it now. Will it be better?
It's heartbreaking too, because a lot of people are like, this was like the last watchable product that you guys had. SmackDown's kind of falling apart. Raw's not doing horribly right now, but that's just because tonight was an episode without Goldberg and the only three women that exist right now in Raw's eyes.
Yeah.
Fighting.
If I feel like SmackDown will pick up again after SummerSlam once Cena is out of the picture, and we get an actual contender for the title. But yeah, right now
So the draft is coming up.
The draft is coming up. That will be the real factor in how the product is moving forward. What I would love to see.
Do we think COVID is going to? Oh, I was gonna just gonna say that. Do you think COVID's going to once again leave it so NXT can't participate in the draft?
No, because they're making so many call-ups. They wouldn't be if that was something holding them back. But yeah, we'll see how the draft changes things. And how soon after SummerSlam the draft is. I don't know if it's gonna be like
It's supposed to be a couple of weeks.
a couple of weeks. Okay.
Yeah, I could have sworn they announced a date for it. Yeah, September 3rd.
Oh, it's my birthday.
August 30th and September 3rd.
My birthday's the draft. Huh. Am I drafted? Is that my birthday gift?
There you go, buddy. Also on Sportskeeda, Render
Mm-hmm.
Of why is Drew there?
Drew's still
He doesn't
on.
have a title on him.
He's still on all of WWE's promotional material. Probably more so than Bobby. I feel like it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, but I know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
Is there any more news?
all I have for news today.
I actually have a little piece of news. A little piece. So today Fightful Select reached out regarding Bray Wyatt. And they confirmed that his absence after WrestleMania was not related to mental health issues. He is 100% healthy and able to wrestle. So why was he absent? Who knows? It's very interesting considering that the report was that he was dealing with his mental health following the death of Brody Lee.
Yeah.
So,
Which, if that's something that they just made up,
I don't think
Thank
they
you.
made it up. I think it was just something that circulated.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing that like, a lot of people are kind of like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But there's so much to talk about tonight. I didn't even put the news sign up tonight.
Yeah.
Good God.
You want to get into matches and promos?
Yeah, you know what? Let's get into some matches and promos. Let me put up the correct sign this time.
Here, let me fuel up. All right. So,
This is like also the super caffeinated podcast now because Mark and I have both had coffee drinks.
mm-hmm.
And I am now drinking something with CBD and green tea.
Yeah, so Liz is doing she's pulling the Four Loko. Got to get that upper and downer at the same time.
No, CBD is not a downer. It makes you focus.
It's not Adderall.
No, but like the whole point of CBD is that like it doesn't like sedate you quite the same way that like weed does.
Yeah,
Because it doesn't have the THC.
It's still like a relaxer.
That's what the recess drinks are.
Yeah.
They're natural caffeine with CBD.
So anyway, going to the episode. We start off immediately with Randy Orton. Comes out. He says, "Welcome to Monday Night Raw." And then Riddle comes out immediately. Says, "Randy, I missed you so much, bro. But bro, where'd you go? At first I thought you were hiding like a big anaconda. Maybe you went on vacation. Man, I just miss you so much, bro. I'm glad you're back. That means we can team and be RKBro." Randy says, "Can I ask you a question? What in the hell makes you think I would want to team with you again? Kid, we had a few matches and made a few shirts. Let's be real. I work better by myself. You did fine by yourself without my help. Does that mean you don't want to be on a team with me anymore? You and I were a good team." And then AJ Styles comes out. he mocks Riddle, says, "You want to be my bro? What did I do, bro? Where's my stepdad, bro?" So Riddle was comparing Randy to his stepdad who went out one day and never came back. He says, "This is embarrassing. You could taste the embarrassment. Some would say it's too sweet." Fucking love that. I like to imagine AJ's like sitting at home just like miserable being in WWE and he's texting Carl Anderson like, I wish I was with you guys and Jay White and Kaz.
Like it's like when you're like, you remember in school, like when you had like different classes from your friends, and like there was always like that one class that all your friends had and you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Yeah.
that's what this is.
Even though AJ's probably making a ton more money. But I feel like at this point, he's just doing it for fun rather than huge paycheck. Says Riddle. It's Randy Orton. He's got a couple nicknames: Viper, Apex Predator, Legend Killer. Literally everyone he's ever met, he's used and abused. It's just silly. It doesn't make sense. It's Randy Orton. Never in a million years would I think It's a Broken Heart That Hurt You the Most by Randy Orton. Well done, Randy. Randy says, AJ, will you please shut your mouth? I've been watching you run your mouth from home this entire time. Like you're the man. The only thing bigger than your ego is that jackass right there, and he points to Omos. AJ says, that's cap. That means it's a lie. Tries the cap thing again. Since you're solo, why don't you fight me tonight? You will see who runs Raw. Randy says, that's easy because I accept. Tonight I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat you with the 3 most destructive letters in sports entertainment. R-K, and he tries to RKO AJ. AJ avoids it. He tries to RKO Omos, but he avoids it. Riddle tries to RKO Omos, but Omos catches him and delivers a choke slam to Riddle. And Riddle rolls onto the floor to Randy's feet, and Randy just says, that wasn't a smart move, was it? And I'm surprised that they're breaking up RKBro right now after they had this promo where they established the storyline of trying to RKO Omos. Because it seems like now that they introduced that, they would have the climax at a certain point be RKOing Omos. I don't know.
I don't know either, honestly. I wonder if they do this sometimes where they kind of miss the train, a plot point, and it's because like somebody's not there. And so they just kind of fizzle shit out altogether. They've done this a million times before.
And they also, WWE, the main roster, has a tendency to really want those moments, those big moments. They care more about moments than long storylines. So they wanted that moment of Randy RKOing Riddle. They just were desperate for it, and then now they're probably going to get back together next week, just so that we can have that catharsis of RKOing Omos. But yeah, I would much prefer if they prefer like the long storylines than the big moments. It's a whole thing with Nikki Ash. They wanted the big moment of the cash in, and then didn't know what the fuck to do after that. But after that, we had Corbin backstage. He said, I don't know if everybody here understands things have, how bad things have gotten for me. I've fallen on hard times. I need a win. I've lost everything. My crown's gone, my car's repossessed, my house is repossessed, my wife left me. I was staying in one of the production trucks. Jinder called me and offered me a chance. How can you think Jinder is a heel after he gave Corbin a chance? The last person we saw give Corbin a chance was Kevin Owens, one of the biggest faces on SmackDown. And now Jinder's giving him a chance.
Jinder's using Corbin to fight his battles.
He's hiring him as an employee. Corbin would not have had half of his entrance if it wasn't for Jinder.
Ah, man, I think you're misunderstanding. I don't think that Corbin made any money off that.
You think Jinder just told Corbin to go out there without any money?
He probably said, hey, if you win this match, I'll pay you money.
No, I don't know. I don't know. Well, all that matters is that Corbin says Jinder gave him a chance. And that's what a face does at the end of the day. They give others a chance. They give the benefit of the doubt. Like Jinder did. Jinder's the face here.
Corey? Corey Graves?
I am...
Is that you?
Look. I know a face when I see one. I know Buddy Murphy was a face when he was being attacked by the Mysterios. Okay? Mysterios were the heels. You even agreed with me on that. The Mysterios were goddamn heels when they were attacking Buddy Murphy with the kendo sticks. And now they're teaming with John Cena, like they're fucking face of the company.
You gonna be okay?
I don't know. But Corbin says, it's risk versus reward. I'm desperate. If beating Drew will help get me out of these troubles, so be it. Then we get Drew McIntyre and Gorilla. Drew says, it seems Jinder and his goons are scared of me. Corbin, look at you. You're pathetic. Alright, also another heel thing he said. He's calling him pathetic just because he's poor. That's not okay.
Fair enough.
Like he can be he did say he's a terrible person, but the thing that makes him pathetic is being poor. I mean, come on. That's just pure heel right there. And then he asked the fucking crowd, should Drew feel sympathy for Corbin? I've known you for years. You're a terrible human being. You beat up a homeless man once. I know Orlando wants to see me beat your ass. The sword is named after my late mother. She was afflicted by a genetic disorder. She was told to abort me when she was pregnant with me, but she still had me. And Corbin, karma is a bitch. If you push me, so is Angela.
I was getting a little nervous with the direction we were going in on that one. I feel like you're saying something about saying something, but I'm gonna just believe you're not because I love you.
What?
When Drew was talking.
Oh, you're talking about. I thought you were talking about me.
No.
No. Also, Drew apparently doesn't understand, like, character arcs. He doesn't understand that, like, a face thing Drew could say is that Corbin needs this. Corbin needs to be down on his luck to understand what it's like to feel empathy for others. He could say that. Like he could have easily replaced the "you are pathetic" line with something like "this is good for you," you know? Like kind of how Kevin Owens was.
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like, you have to remember this isn't something that Drew McIntyre himself said. This is what we're doing.
I know. I'm not hating on Drew. I'm not at all. I'm just criticizing the writing and the booking here. I'm not hating on Drew at all. I really like Drew. Sometimes WWE just gets their heels and faces confused.
That's true.
Alright, so after that, we get Baron Corbin versus Drew McIntyre, where Corbin only gets half of his walkout. Again, he would have no walkout if it wasn't for Jinder. Jinder let him at least have half of it.
That's true. Yes. So Baron in the ring, and he's kind of like begging for his life before swinging on Drew. You get a big chop to Corbin, and then elbow to his jaw. Drew stomps on Corbin, then whips him into the buckles. It's a nice little suplex on him. He then throws Corbin from the ring, brings him to the announce desk to deliver some chops. A right hand, though, to the throat of Drew before Corbin drives Drew into the apron. He puts him back in the ring. Or does he? I don't know. My next note is just then hurls Drew to the outside, but whatever. So he basically has Drew lined up so that he's going to charge at him through the barricade. But Drew instead catches Corbin as he's charging and tosses him. Drew goes up top. Corbin gets a superplex to McIntyre. He then whips Drew into the corner, charges at him. Drew avoids. Corbin does his little fast corpse thing. Right into a Glasgow kiss. Which they both sold incredibly.
Yeah.
I thought that it looked really good.
It's not the same
so Drew
now,
hits
without Joe.
It is mildly better though than it originally was once Joe was gone. Because at least Joe is on a roster in the WWE.
Yeah, and Corey's kind of been trying to pick up the slack. He's now yelling, the Glasgow kiss or whatever. He's trying.
So back in the ring, we have a bunch of clotheslines to Corbin, and then an overhead toss suplex, and a second one, and then a neck breaker, and a kip up. I was just sitting there like... Anyways, I haven't gotten excited over a Drew McIntyre kip up in a really long time, and today I finally let myself, and I was like, this is so nice. I'm going back to my roots. Like when I listened to Nickelback, and I was like, you know what, this is fun. Let yourself enjoy things.
If your roots are Nickelback, then I don't want to see what the trunk is like.
It's me, baby. I'm the whole tree.
Oh.
Okay.
We're gonna have to cancel the podcast then.
Anywho, now that my feelings have been hurt, Drew wants the Claymore, but Corbin's just like kneeling there, begging for like just a shred of sympathy. And Drew's like, "How much money would it take for you to like not be like this?" And Corbin says $100,000.
Yeah, he says.
And Drew.
Oh, do you wanna get this?
You can go on.
He says 100,000. That seems perfectly reasonable. What about what audience? How about 200,000? How about 300,000? And then he basically, that's how he does the countdown to the Claymore. And then pops him with a Claymore.
Indeed.
And gets the pin, and then Jinder Mahal comes out. Drew grabs his sword from the corner, and Jinder and company back away, scared. Like, okay, Drew is the one making all the threats right now. He's the one coming at them with a goddamn sword. Alright? Like... Normally the face is like the underdog, but I feel like Jinder's the underdog right now.
I don't agree with you. I feel like we're watching two very different shows.
You think Drew is the underdog here? with the goddamn sword that can cut right through a table.
I don't know if I don't know if either of them are the underdog.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they're both very equally paired. They literally have the same body. Start. But on top of that, it's like none of this would have happened if Jinder hadn't been pissy about Drew being in the Money in the Bank match, which I understood. But also, Jinder had not really done much to say that he was the most likely next contender. He's Zelina Vega himself a little bit.
All right, no. Don't even say that, because Jinder's a former WWE champion.
All right, that's fair. Sorry, Jinder. I still love you, so I just have to hate you for the sake of Marcus.
Jinder's so great. Like he's been killing it lately. I can't wait to see him in an extended match against Drew.
It'd be better than Sheamus versus Drew. I have been waiting for Sheamus versus Drew, and then they ruined it.
Yeah, this is pretty lame.
Cruel.
But after that match, we had Randy Orton backstage. Riddle rolls in. He says, I know you don't want to be on a team, but can we still be friends? Can I at least be in your corner? And Randy gives a long pause. AJ's gonna have Omos. So, and then another long pause. You can't be serious, bro. Randy says, I am serious, and don't call me bro. And then we go to Jeff Hardy versus Karrion Kross.
At the beginning of this match, Mark said to me, well, I think they're having Karrion lose, like go on a losing streak, and Scarlett's going to come and start winning again.
That's what reports were that the storyline was supposed to be before Jeff got COVID.
Right, so Mark tells me this, and I said, oh, okay. Saito to Jeff. Karrion throws him from the ring. Jeff sends Karrion into the stairs, cannonballs onto him into the barricade. Back in the ring, we get a side Russian leg sweep. Jeff goes up top, but Karrion sweeps his legs out from under him. Jeff still manages to hit a DDT to Karrion, punches him in the face, and then does the inverted atomic double leg drop kick to Karrion, and then like a belly flop that I think was supposed to be a drop elbow, but it was very sloppy.
I think it was just a simple splash.
Okay. Normally he tries to do the double axe handles, which he does next. We get double axe handles to Karrion. Karrion then whips Jeff into the corner. Gets 2 boots to the face. Jeff crossbodies down onto Karrion. Hits him with a jawbreaker. Goes up top, but Karrion meets him up there, hits him with another Saito suplex, and then chokes him out.
Yep. Karrion Kross, the king of 50-50 booking. Oh god. Dropped my phone on my keyboard. Yeah, no, this is... I don't know what their plan is. I just find it hilarious that the plan was supposed to be Karrion succeeds when he meets up with Scarlett. Despite him being with Scarlett the entire time on NXT, not anymore, of course, now that they had this booking planned, but Scarlett's his goddamn wife, and they kind of established that in kayfabe. So it's like, Karrion doesn't know where the fuck his wife is, and then suddenly she meets up with him. It's just so fucking ridiculous. Oh my god. So after that, we get a backstage interview with Riddle. Kevin comes up to him, asks him a question, and Riddle says, KP, today has been a roller coaster. He tells me he doesn't want to be my bro. He doesn't want me in his corner. I don't know how to feel. If Randy wants to be by himself, I have to respect that. I'm a stallion. I gotta ride. Yeehaw! And he rides off on a scooter. And then we get Alexa Bliss versus Dewdrop. Liz, do you wanna start this?
You know, Alexa Bliss made me laugh 2 episodes in a row, I think. Again.
You know, I know you are a critic of hers, but she's been doing like her best with this stuff. She's really trying to make the best of it. Even though the
Sometimes trying isn't enough.
the booking and the writing is trash.
Oh. Bliss sets up the doll on the corner post. You get a kick to Piper after Eva is the most fucking annoying human being alive. First of all, this whole ploy of hers to like squat on the fucking turnbuckle during the match, which the ref is very much like, what the fuck are you doing? You can't do that.
Like, what was her
She's
plan?
like, yes, I'm allowed to do this. She literally said, I'm allowed to do this.
No,
and the ref was like, no.
Here, wait. Let me consult the rule book. Alright. So, WWE Book of Rules. Let's see. Of course, it takes a while to... Okay.
Yeah, you gotta unwind that.
Let's see. Oh. Right here, it states that, certain wrestlers can sit on top of the turnbuckle, until the crowd starts chanting, "We want Wyatt." In which case, they need to stop.
Okay, alright. So yeah. It's just funny because Eva Marie...
Oh, you cut out.
Yeah, you're a little laggy for me right now.
Oh, am I? You're laggy for me too.
Still watching you rewind the book.
I'm still doing that. I'm still trying to rewind it.
Okay.
Can we talk for a second about the
we're catching up slowly.
Can we talk about the "We Want Wyatt" chants?
Okay, so what I was saying, hang on.
Okay.
We are going to talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, Eva Marie did not know how to do a lockup on like one of her first matches.
Mm-hmm.
It's like basic wrestling. And now she's like, I can sit on the turnbuckle. I'm allowed to do this. It's like, what are you doing now? Are you aware? I don't think you are. And then on top of that, it's like, she's doing all this. Meanwhile, the crowd is chanting, "We want Wyatt." Just this uncomfortable headache.
Yeah. So the "We Want Wyatt" chants.
Yeah.
It's like, man, like that's evidence enough that they fucked up releasing him. Like,
yeah.
What? I don't like. I don't know. I don't like. Did they think nobody liked him? Because I mean, it's clear as day. It's clear as day he was a fan favorite.
Yeah. There was no reason to think that Bray Wyatt was not a fan favorite after all of his history there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I just need to get this one out real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen this twice now with Ronda Rousey and someone else. There are people saying, well, you guys didn't support these wrestlers enough. Somebody said this about NXT. So you can't be shocked when the WWE doesn't support them either. It's like, how can you paint with such broad strokes over such a large fan base, first of all? Second of all, I don't remember a single point where the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt, did not get a massive fucking pop.
Mm-hmm.
And even The Fiend.
Yeah. The Fiend was amazing, but he just got terrible booking from WWE. It doesn't help that at Hell in a Cell, 2019, he was booked to be like Invincible. Was booked like the fucking monster, got the Universal Championship, and then got the Universal Championship and then lost it to Goldberg.
Yeah. And also, the thing is it's like, I guess, like, maybe The Fiend had run its course a little bit.
I wouldn't even say that because they were working on a whole new milestone. Oh. Did we lose her? I think we lost her. Uh-oh. Oh, God. Hold tight, everybody. She'll reconnect. Oh. Wi-Fi kind of shit the bed all over the apartment, so that's probably why she's yeah, the whole apartment Wi-Fi kind of crapped out for a second because my laptop just refreshed.
I switched back to Moods of Chaos, so.
Okay. But yeah, they started a whole new milestone with The Fiend.
So, but the thing for me is that I had heard rumors that people were saying that The Fiend had run its course, but I feel like that's not a good enough reason to, like, cut out Bray Wyatt entirely.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he got so much praise from, like, legends. Like, Undertaker praised him. And we all know how much WWE values The Undertaker, but clearly not his opinions.
I mean, Bray Wyatt, at the end of the day, was also a very creative person. He knew how to work a character.
And that's not what WWE wants anymore.
And that was proven again by something that happens later in tonight's episode.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes me really fucking nervous for where we're going.
Yeah. Also, this reminds me of something I meant to bring up during the news, but apparently Malachi Black talked about recently that regarding his release from WWE and Zelina Vega, he got the call of the release and she was in tears. Zelina was like in tears because they had convinced her to come back under the guise that she would be rejoining her husband. And then as soon as she... What was that?
On SmackDown.
Yeah. And as soon as she re-signed, they released him. And that is fucked up. But we should continue on with the episode. Liz, Alexa Bliss versus Dewdrop.
Yeah. So yeah, Eva's being fucking annoying. Let's start there. We get a kick to Piper, and then a sleeper. Piper goes for a senton, but Alexa rolls away, starts hitting some little kicks to Piper again, tackles her from the ropes, doing that weird, like, fucking, like, bleh shit. And then Alexa comes to ringside. She kind of wants a piece of Eva Marie. Piper runs into Alexa Bliss to save Eva Marie. and throws her into the barricade. Piper then slams her into the top buckle, and then Piper splashes Bliss in the corner. Looks like she's probably gonna fucking win. Looks over at the fucking doll set up on the corner post, and well, first she looks at Bliss doing that weird shit on the ground, and is like, and then she turns and looks at the doll, and then Bliss just rolls her up. Also, they tried to do this like render where they were like, here's what the fuck is the doll's name?
Lily.
Like, here's Lily, and then she winks at you, and I was like, okay. I don't know, man.
It was.
I don't know.
It was so stupid. This whole match was so stupid. Yeah, hot garbage. But after that, we have the Miz and Morrison backstage. Morrison's complaining about Damian Priest. Says, "Thing about Priest is he's dry." Miz says, "I can't stand Damian." Sheamus then walks in and says, "You know what I can't stand? Gobshites with stupid hair and catchphrases and gimmicks. You're the waterhead who cost me my match against Damian Priest." Morrison says, "You must be dripping." Miz says, Sheamus says, "I've got bigger things to worry about, or rather smaller things. I'm gonna crush that rat Ricochet. As for you, you better get the job done tonight against Damian." And then we get Sheamus versus Ricochet in a championship contender match. Yay! Oh, it's been so long since we got one of these. Friday.
Yeah. So Sheamus flings Ricochet before shoving him into the corner. Shoving blow to the space between Ricochet's neck and shoulder. That out of order. So Sheamus gets a side headlock on Ricochet, and once that's broken free of, he gets a shoulder tackle on him. Ricochet, however, manages a flying head scissors to Sheamus, and then Sheamus says, "Alright, I'm done." Rolls out. He ends up kicking Ricochet in the stomach. There's a strike to the face of Sheamus, and then a spinebuster to Ricochet. He brings his knees to Sheamus's chin. Sheamus gets Ricochet up on his shoulders. Ricochet gets free, loads Sheamus out, and draw kicks him through the ropes into the announce desk, and then hits him with a springboard crossbody off the ropes onto Sheamus onto the announce desk. Back in the ring, though. Oh.
Yeah, very nice.
Sorry, second puberty. Once I come out of this, I'm gonna have a deep man voice. So back in the ring, we get an Irish Curse backbreaker to Ricochet. That looks fucking nasty. This looked like the meanest backbreaker in a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
There's some elbows backwards to Sheamus before Ricochet loads him out of the ring again. Sheamus goes up top. Ricochet hits him with a step up and Sagiri. Then we get a Hurricane round to Sheamus and like a crossbody. And then a moonsault, but no pin. Then a drop toe hold sends Sheamus into the turnbuckle. And then, like, we get a flying headbutt, more or less. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it looked like a botched move.
Yeah.
But I think what was implied was he tried to headbutt Sheamus, but hit the face guard.
Right. And then Sheamus hits the brogue kick to win.
My knee just hit the desk.
We're not doing well tonight.
Mm-mm.
And then who but Damian Priest comes out.
Yeah, I didn't take note of what happened here, but basically, Damian challenges Sheamus for the United States Championship at SummerSlam. Sheamus accepts, and that's that. Then the Miz and Morrison come out. And Sheamus kind of glares at them as he walks by. And then we have Damian Priest versus John Morrison.
Yeah. This was weird, I guess. Like, the way they introduced the match was weird. I don't know.
How so?
Well, just like I understand because of the way this match ends, it just felt very much like they were like trying to piece shit together and they just couldn't.
Right.
So Damien flings John into the corner. John goes to head out, but Damien grabs him. Morrison like kicks him over his shoulder, basically. Then hits a sliding knee. John starts grappling. Damien is not grappling. Damien, however, gets a modified armbar to Morrison, then uses his leg, like bringing it down on Morrison's throat to kind of choke him out. We get a bell clap and a series of strikes to Morrison, and then knees to the midsection of Damien and an elbow to his jaw. Damien sends an elbow into Morrison.
Oh. Left the call.
My entire computer just like this refreshed. Discord refreshed.
Oh. That's not was it like a misclick or something, or did it just automatically do it? Oh, that's weird.
It happened when I changed Wi-Fi's the first time, like before we started this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I think the Wi-Fi's fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
Anyways. But yeah, they do this thing where they're like, just so similar, they're doing the same moves to each other. Fucking hate it. Especially when it's forced. Like, when it's like two friends fighting each other or something, I'm like, I get it. Okay. But when it's like two guys that, like, really aren't that similar in terms of style. You know, like, John and Damien are not similar in terms of style. Why are they doing the same moves?
I think it's to show that Damien can do anything. Because Damien does the brogue kick later.
There's a kick between the eyes of Priest through the ropes, and then a corkscrew crossbody to a now ringside Damien. Morrison then cartwheel kicks Priest while on the apron. John goes for something, gets struck down by the leg of Priest. And then Miz hits him with the drip stick. He still hits the reckoning. It doesn't matter because it's water. And that's the thing that I've been like, this whole time, everyone's like, oh my god! And it's like, well, it's water.
If you're in a wrestling match and you're like all hot and sweaty, a little bit of water.
That's gotta be nice.
Yeah, it would feel so nice.
But so Damien hits the reckoning all the same, and then Damien goes ringside. I don't know if you want to talk about this.
Yeah. Well, Damien goes ringside. Miz threatens him with another drip stick, but he takes that, snaps it, takes another one, snaps it, or whatever. And he kind of corners the Miz against the stairs in the canvas. He's about to, he's kind of like threatening the Miz, but the Miz tells him to get off of him, and as he pushes him away, stands up. And there's that big, the gasp moment when turns out Miz isn't actually injured, and he's chased around the ring and up the ramp to leave. Morrison even looked like devastated by that.
Was this a work? Was the ACL a work? I don't understand.
I don't think it was, but I think he recovered sooner than expected.
An ACL takes. I mean, Bailey tore her ACL.
I mean,
she's out for 9 months.
Maybe it was a work, because he was at that celebrity baseball game. So
when did he tear his ACL?
It was Backlash. Yeah, it was Backlash. It was
What month
May.
was that? It's, yeah,
3 months
no, that
ago.
had to be at work.
Yeah.
ACL recovery time. 6 to 9 months. It's not been 6 to 9 months.
Yeah, I guess it
We
wasn't
have
work.
been scammed.
This is long-term booking then. So after that match, after the match, Sheamus comes out, kind of confronts Damian. I think this is when Damian challenges Sheamus for the United States title. Sheamus accepts, and then John Morrison charges at Damian, and Damian gives a huge brogue kick to Morrison, and then Sheamus has a look of another gasp moment, putting Damian on the same level as Sheamus. After that match, we had Mansoor and Mustafa backstage. Mansoor gives a gift to Mustafa. It's a jacket to make up for the loss last week. Mustafa's actually really happy with it. He says it's amazing, but you gotta stop apologizing. Tonight I'm gonna show you how it's done. Just watch and learn. This is such nice story progression because it's slow and natural, and it's wholesome. Very wholesome. And then we get T-Bar versus Mustafa Ali.
Moose versus TBPP. Also, T-Bar Mace had a wonderful promo going into this match. Which made me fucking cackle. And Mace was in rare fucking form today. So T-Bar tosses Mustafa into the corner. Hits him with a hard back body drop. We get a drop kick to T-Bar and then a kick to the chest. Mustafa then crossbodies T-Bar. Ringside. T-Bar, however, rolls through, holding on to Mustafa, and absolutely launches him at the barricade, like flings his ass. And the red welt that came from that was like visible almost immediately. So there's a boot to the face of Mustafa. T-Bar picks him up out of the air, breaks his back over his knee. Another nasty backbreaker. We were chock full of them tonight. But in the cover, Mustafa gets a boot on the rope, forcing the rope break. Mansoor points it out. And Mace comes out of absolutely fucking nowhere, kicks the shit out of Mansoor, and then starts shouting, "Snitches get stitches," over and over.
Oh god, this is so good. Like, why?
These are literally my two favorite tag teams in Raw right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like
how was Mustafa a snitch?
Well, I guess because like he pointed out to the ref that like Mustafa's boot was on the rope. I don't know if that's I don't think that counts as snitching.
Yeah,
And I haven't used that word in a while.
I don't know.
It's just I loved it so much. So there's a suplex to T-Bar and a DDT off the ropes that was like spot on. It was beautiful. Mustafa goes up top. T-Bar kicks him down, slams him into the ground to win. And then he and Mace go for the team choke slam, but Mansoor drop kicks T-Bar in the head, more or less. Starts fighting Mace to save his literal best friend. Mace is then loaded out of the ring, hit with an enziguri, sending him to the ground. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. I love this. I love every second of this.
Mm-hmm.
And we also got reference to Retribution tonight.
Yeah. It was from Jimmy Smith, but...
Jimmy, who doesn't know any better.
Yeah. He's just showing off that he studied.
Vince is like in his ear, like, what the fuck are you talking about?
He's like, we abandoned that storyline. Cut it out, or you're fired. After that, we had Reginald backstage. He's getting his pictures taken. He's talking about how when he worked for Carmella, he had to take all the pictures for her. Even though WWE has their own photographers. Akira Tozawa walks in dressed as, what was he dressed as? Delivery person?
As a mailman.
Mailman. Tries to pin Reggie. Also, I hate that they're calling him Reggie now as opposed to Reginald. R-Truth comes in dressed as a janitor, breaks up the pin, tries to go for one himself, but Reggie avoids it, and he is now being chased by the two of them, but he parkours all over the place, escaping. Then we get an interview with AJ Styles and Omos. AJ says, I'm glad Randy's back. It's a great moment. He's asked if he really feels that way. He says, no, I don't care he's back. I don't care if he's better off alone. If he thinks he's going to walk in that door and immediately be top of the mountain, I don't know about that. We're champions. We deserve respect. He made a colossal mistake. We're going to have to break Randy and put him on the sidelines for good, just like Riddle's scooter. And when he said colossal mistake, I was like, oh, is that a tease for Bronson Reed? And I remembered, I don't care about Bronson Reed. They fired his ass. Fucking unbelievable.
Jonah.
Jonah's a cool ass name.
Jonah is a name that we have heard way too many times in the last, 2 weeks.
Yeah. Not for any good reason. So after that, we go into the ring to meet Bobby Lashley and MVP. MVP has the mic, and he says, WWE Universe, please rise for the proper showing of respect for the almighty WWE Champion, Bobby Lashley. Last week, the Almighty was gracious enough to bless all of you with one blockbuster of a main event for SummerSlam. Bobby versus Goldberg for the WWE Championship. Sadly, that announcement has been mildly controversial. We'd like to set the record straight. If Goldberg is looking for a fight, it'd be in the ring. He exited the ring in an orderly fashion. He returned and hit me with a spear for no reason, and then he lied and he said I threatened his son. The Almighty and I have sons of our own. I would never do such a thing. I said, if you love your father, please dissuade him from this errand. If he shows up, his career is over. I've been slandered before, but when you've slandered me, you slander Bobby too. The only thing more devastating is a Goldberg spear, or the only thing more devastating than a Goldberg spear is a spear from the almighty Bobby Lashley. You have no one to blame but yourself. We're violent men by nature. You involved your son in your battles. Listen, I have been hurt. I can't cough, I can't sneeze, I can't laugh, but that's appropriate because this is no laughing matter. Gage, Goldberg's son, Gageberg, this message is for you. Please convince your father not to show up. If you come, you will see your father humiliated and destroyed. The upside is you'll have your dad, and he'll spend time with you and watch Raw with you. You can have all the father and son time you want. Bobby grabs the mic and says, you're damn right. Goldberg, this is a message for you. Bill, don't let your son watch SummerSlam. If he does, he will watch the destruction put upon you. You won't even want him to share the same last name as you. You're not next, you're done. That was a nice line to close out.
Yeah.
I hope they don't bring Sunberg into the storyline.
Gageberg?
Sunberg.
Or, fake Goldberg son, because not the same kid.
Yeah, it's definitely not the same kid.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Um, but great promo from MVP and Bobby. I wish the crowd wasn't what chanting it the entire time.
They choose to do the what chants at very weird times when the promo does not call for a what chant. And I'm not saying that like I know for some reason the what chants are back better than ever and or worse than ever. And you know, it's a disrespectful thing to do. So I'm using that as our baseline.
Mm-hmm.
There's some promos where like you can fit the what chants in rhythmically. And then there's some promos where people are just talking and you just hear like these like little pops from the audience of what? And it's like you're doing it wrong. You shouldn't do it at all, but you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's always the best promo guys that they what chant, like MVP, who was the other one? John Cena, Paul Heyman. It's always the great talkers that they what chant. And it's ridiculous. They better not what chant Bailey when she comes back. I swear to God.
They usually do. Well, no, they do it for women too, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel like they mostly do it for men.
We haven't had a promo with Eva Marie yet in the ring, so we haven't seen that.
Maybe
so
for good reason.
We then get Rhea Ripley backstage, and she said, like I said, there's nothing more brutal than a no-holds-barred match. Nikki held her own. It takes heart and guts to be an almost superhero. Almost isn't good enough to stay the champ. I understand the balance between light and dark needed to hold on to the title. Does Nikki have a dark side? She brings up a good point. It's like good. That's a good tweener point of view. I think Rhea's kind of like the best tweener on Raw right now. And I think that's why she does so well with the crowd.
Yeah.
But then we have an interview with Nikki Ash. And I tweeted my complaints with this, but I'll talk about it once I finish the promo. She says, being an almost a superhero means I have to be prepared for things not going my way. If you believe in yourself, you can achieve your dreams. Tonight, my dream might turn into a nightmare. I'll be okay because I have my trusty nightlight, my spirit, and my drive. I knew Rhea and Charlotte would be dangerous. Last week, I didn't almost beat Charlotte. I did beat Charlotte. Tonight, I'm almost positive I'm gonna beat Rhea. I know I have the odds stacked against me at SummerSlam, but I'll do whatever it takes to remain Raw Women's Champion. Alright, so here's my gripe with this. I know there's a lot, but they are hammering in interviews and promos every single week this, I believe in myself. I'm almost a superhero. I almost am positive I could do this. It's like, we got the message the first time. Now, let Nikki be her character and deliver the message and the lesson in the storyline, in the actions, in her defeats, and then her eventual wins. They really fucked this up by giving her the championship so early on without having her become the superhero. Like, will she? I honest to God, I hope she loses the title at SummerSlam so that they can give her her progression to being a superhero.
Yeah.
Because you can't make her a superhero while she's holding the title. It just would not make sense. She definitely, like, they just rushed that way too fast. It just makes this whole thing so ridiculous. And I get it's for kids. Like, I understand it's for kids, so they feel like they need to dumb it down for everyone. But I don't know about you. When we're watching kids shows, we understood the lesson without having everything need to be explained to us. Like, we understood the struggles SpongeBob went through with boating school without everything being hammered into us every episode. Like, we understood the lesson in the storyline.
The thing is that the they don't understand what fans want anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, everything comes down to Vince's gut.
And if he's not really paying attention, then I don't know, man. It's annoying.
Yeah.
It's tiring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's always been like this, but it just seems like nothing with none of the fans' opinions really matter anymore.
There's always been like one storyline here and there that like was kind of dumb
Mm-hmm.
or just didn't work. But they used to have such a wide breadth of like characters and like unique characters and like interesting stories and stuff like that that would make the lesser moments not really feel like anything.
Mm.
And now it's like we have 12 men and 2 women and we don't know where Asuka went. So this is what you get.
And Keith Lee.
Yeah, I was just
wasn't
thinking
around.
about that. That's different. We saw him last week. I think it's yeah. I feel safe right now. Maybe I should knock on wood.
Okay.
Um Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I was just thinking about like where the fuck is Asuka? We have not seen her.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time we saw her.
It worries me. It really does. So now we get into Rhea Ripley versus Nikki Ash.
Yes. So Ripley fails to kick Nikki. Nikki gets a side headlock on Rhea that Rhea has trouble breaking for a while. Rhea lifts her, Nikki rolls forward and through. Rhea finally powerbombs Nikki to get her to release. Starts tossing her around. Ripley then tosses Nikki out of the ring, drops her ribs first onto the apron. Nikki starts fighting back with forearms, counters a back body drop with a DDT. She spears Rhea in the corner and then rolls her up. Rhea sets up for the Riptide after kicking out, and Nikki counters, rolling Rhea backwards. Rhea is then punching the ribs of Cross. She puts her up top, and then Nikki pushes Ripley down, goes to jump down herself, and then Charlotte comes through and DQs the fucking match.
Yeah. Yeah.
Backer. And also for Raw Bingo, this is a women's match that lasted less than 4 minutes.
It was gonna be a really fun match too. Like there were some really cool spots that Rhea and Nikki were pulling off. And I really wish they were using the Tony Khan mentality, which is don't have non-finishes. Like you could continue to tell the story, have Charlotte come in afterwards and start beating up Nikki or Rhea or whoever. Like have Nikki lose. Like what's the problem with having Nikki lose here? It's so dumb. Like yeah.
I meant to say this when we were watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But we had Nikki versus Charlotte. And we had the rematch. Now we're going to do the same thing with Rhea.
Mm-hmm.
We got Nikki versus Rhea. And next week we're going to have a rematch because Charlotte fucked it up.
It's going to be the go-home show next week. So, you know, Charlotte's going to run in again. Stand tall. Or it'll be you know, Charlotte versus Rhea with Nikki on commentary, and then something happens to where Nikki's beaten down and Charlotte holds the title up.
Now that would be kind of smart. Which is why they probably won't do it.
Yeah, that's why I came up with it.
Yeah.
But after that, they threw something interesting our way. They had somebody from NXT film this. We had an Elias vignette of him walking through the woods. And he comes to a fire and throws his guitar into the fire. And he says, WWE stood for Walk with Elias. Elias is dead. So they took away the one thing that made Elias stand out. The one thing.
He didn't even get one opportunity with the crowd.
Not one. It's cause, they can't have two guitar guys. Now that they have Boogs on SmackDown, you can't have one on Raw too.
There is one thing that we can say right now. Is that the greasy little rat that he had been fighting, we have not seen in a while. And I don't know how they would write him into any stories.
He's on Main Event.
I tried.
But hopefully this does mean a bit of a push for Elias, some kind of revamping to give him a better storyline. Ideally, this doesn't just happen and he's not just sent to Main Event. Because as we all know, Elias is a very talented wrestler with great promo chops, and the capability of being either a heel or a face. So hopefully this is something big coming his way. Also, I just realized we didn't see the New Day at all today.
Yeah.
That's so weird. I don't think we saw them last week either.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
I think also what they're doing right now is it's sort of like, you know how like when school was ending, like, and there was like Christmas break coming up or something like that, or like holiday break, and like there was a weird lull like the week before the holiday break because like the teachers were like, we have nothing to give you and we're not going to start some shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think because we're so close to the draft that they might be just like running the stories they have until people get drafted, because I think New Day is going to go to SmackDown.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, I think New Day is going to go to SmackDown. They're probably going to reunite New Day. And it's probably going to be, they probably don't want to start them in a storyline just to have them leave.
Yeah. Yeah. But hopefully they don't stay broken up and we see them very soon. After Elias, though, we get Charlotte Flair backstage. She says, as I watched them tear each other apart, I created an opportunity. I don't need to be pinned at SummerSlam to lose. If they were on my level, they would have anticipated my attack. If you stay on top, you're always a target. I showed some vulnerability last week, and I'm suddenly a target. I'm the most decorated woman in WWE. Everyone can keep praying for my downfall. Nothing is stopping me from walking out of SummerSlam Raw Women's Champion. And then we get Randy Orton backstage in an interview. He says, I work better alone. I don't need teammates. I just need to beat AJ Styles. I'll do it alone. And then we get Randy Orton versus AJ Styles, a match that I was extremely excited for.
And for good reason.
Yeah. If only it was longer, though. It's only like less than 15 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I think Goldberg was supposed to come out. I think he was, because they said, we still have Goldberg to come as they were starting this match. I could have sworn they said that.
I don't remember hearing.
I don't know. Anyways, so Randy bonks AJ into the buckles after multiple jabs. There's a boot to the midsection of Orton and then an uppercut to AJ. Orton hangs AJ up on the top rope and then kicks him out of the ring, meets him ringside. Slams AJ face first into the announce desk. Looks like he's about to go for that, like, not a suplex, but like when he picks the person up and like slams them into the desk. He's done that a lot. It looked like he was about to go for that, but then he gets distracted by Omos. AJ tries to take advantage, but Randy shoves him into the apron. Randy once again makes the mistake of getting distracted by Omos in the same 5-second span. And AJ comes through with a sliding dropkick to Randy. There's a forearm to Randy over the top ropes, and a dropkick and a flying elbow. AJ gets a headlock on Randy. Randy breaks free by pulling AJ's hair and then headbutting him. We get forearms to AJ and a nasty fucking Puma tackle. Then Randy hits a nice little backbreaker to AJ. AJ is brought up top by Randy. AJ escapes. He slips down and rolls through for a calf crusher that Orton blocks for like a hot second before being subjected to it. Orton does grab the rope, though. Randy lifts AJ to the apron. AJ goes for the phenomenal forearms, but cannot get it because Randy sneaks away. And then Randy Orton finally gets the prime opportunity to hit the Draper DDT. And this was a weird one. Mm-hmm. This was a weird Draper DDT.
Yeah. Is it very aggressive?
It was. And by weird, I mean it was fun. It was not like a bad one. It's just he always does such different things every single time. And this one was no different. And it was something that we have not seen before. And I was like, where do you come up with this shit? You just practice this in the mirror at home?
He definitely just, like, kind of lets loose and just lets his face do whatever it wants.
Yeah. He reaches deep within him and he's like, what do I want to do right now? So, I meant to say, because Randy was doing his little thing where he pounds the mat and, like, tries to dislocate his shoulder again. I meant to say the Viper was viping. And my laptop corrected it to vaping.
Nice.
Omos removes AJ from harm's way. Randy starts arguing with Omos in a very ill-advised move. He's like, I could take you right now. And I was like, no, you can't. You can't. You know you can't. Randy, however, is rocked by an enziguri from AJ. But then Riddle comes through. He attacks Omos for Randy. And a phenomenal forearm comes off the ropes and is met with the smoothest RKO man has ever seen. And then after that, I don't know if you took notes on this part or.
I didn't take notes, but I remember just about all of it. Riddle comes in and wants a hug from Randy. Randy's like, absolutely not, no way in hell. Starts walking out. Comes back in, and Riddle still wants the hug. Randy gives it to him. They unhug and kind of back up, and then Randy gives.
Did you just say they unhug?
I think so.
Okay.
Randy then goes back in, gives the RKO to Riddle, and to the devastation of the audience. It was some good stuff. Some good stuff. And that's the end of the episode. That's the recap. So, best of the night.
Yeah.
And if you have a question for us for our question segment after the best of the night, leave it in the chat right now so that it's there for when we move on to the question segment.
I just got real sad because I still have this John Cena thing on the back of my poster board.
Mm-hmm.
I remembered when I made the Tyler Rust one.
Wow. So I know what promo I want to pick for promo of the night. Do you want me to just say it, or do you want me to go through?
You can just like pick a couple favorites and like
I'll pick a couple good ones. First good one is Randy's return, because we got a whole storyline in that with Riddle and AJ to set up a really cool match to come later. Another one is MVP's promo, or MVP and Bobby's promo. That was pretty good. But still was like kind of a whole lot of nothing with it. In terms of the most interesting promo, probably be Elias's little vignette. Just brings up so many questions. And I think that's all I got.
Okay.
So my pick is Randy's return. I think it was the most story rich and made me excited to watch the rest of Raw.
Especially if we count the beginning and the end. I thought that this whole series of promos was really good.
Yeah, and it's like none of it has to do with a championship. I mean, I guess AJ and Omos's tag team titles, but at no point do Randy and Riddle express interest in the titles, and the story itself is not about the titles at all. It's just about this kind of friendship, this relationship between these two guys. For once, a really well done storyline, or a really well done episode story that has nothing to do with a championship.
So far.
Yeah.
Well, now it doesn't, I guess.
Yeah. This episode had nothing to do with it. Wrestler of the night?
Yes, sir.
You want me to go through, or do you have someone in mind?
I kind of have someone in mind.
Okay, I got someone too.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Randy Orton.
I was gonna go with Randy Orton.
He's so goddamn good. Like,
I missed him so much.
there was one standout thing which was very small but really made a difference. He went for the pin on AJ and went and hooked the leg, but also cradled his knee as he was going for the pin too. Like, he managed to, kind of split his mind and both sell an injury and go for the pin. It was like very subtle, but it adds so much. And he's just so much fun to watch.
Yeah. I missed that.
All right, so match of the night. Going from my least favorite, my favorite. With a 3 out of 10. First of all, 3 out of 10. Alexa Bliss versus Doudrop. The ending was stupid. Eva Marie's involvement was stupid. The match itself was not very interesting. The only reason I didn't give it a 1 was because Alexa Bliss had some cool moves in the match, and it's I've been really interested in seeing Alexa Bliss kind of really drastically change up her moveset from how she normally wrestles. It seems like she's just a whole different wrestler in general in this Dark Bliss character. Okay. Next, with a 4 out of 10, Rhea Ripley versus Nikki Ash. I would have given it lower if there weren't some really cool spots in the match. Give these two just a singles match with an actual finish, and they will come up with a banger, because this match was just so cool. Like, throughout, Nikki had some really cool spots, a clean-ass DDT on Rhea.
Yeah.
And Rhea's finally coming into her own and finding that confidence. If only there hadn't been the non-finish. So After that, 5 out of 10, John Morrison versus Damian Priest. It was fine. Like, the match itself was fine. Pretty decent. The whole water bit at the end was stupid, but I like how Damian just ignored it and went for the finish. But we've seen this matchup so many times.
The mid-card scene right now is a fucking mess, and I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
I mean, the main card scene is also a fucking mess, but like, the only thing that's vaguely interesting at this point is the tag scene. After doing Process of Elimination, I've actually realized that most of Raw is boring, but
The low card scene sucks too.
yeah, no, everything's pretty much trash. The tag team scene is literally the only thing I care about anymore.
The tag team scene is great.
Yeah. Oh my god, my voice keeps cracking.
I don't know where you would throw, like, if you're considering Riddle and Randy as singles, I don't know where you would put them. Probably mid card.
No, I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna hold them on tag because I don't know if the breakup's gonna stick.
Yeah. If they're still together, then that's just another great addition to the tag teams. Okay, but next up, 5 out of 10, Jeff Hardy versus Karrion Kross. It was pretty decent. I liked watching Jeff Hardy for once. He had a really decent showing and was working that crowd really well. Karrion cannot get any life from the crowd whatsoever.
They want nothing to do with that man.
And rightfully so. I wish WWE would see it. Alright, so next up, 6 out of 10, Mustafa Ali versus T-Bar. It was a fun match. Mace going wild on Mansoor on the sidelines was fun. Yeah, it was overall just, it was fun. It was enjoyable. Pretty short, but nonetheless, enjoyable. Next up, 6 out of 10, Sheamus versus Ricochet. It was fun. They had some cool spots. These two, even though we've seen this matchup several times already, these two can really work up a cool match. Next, 7 out of 10, Drew McIntyre versus Baron Corbin. This match was a lot of fun. It had some nice story beats, and Drew looked great. Corbin looked great too, despite begging on his knees. But the story beat thrown in there made it just a lot better, and actually had the match matter in some way. And finally, the match of the night with 7 out of 10, Randy Orton versus AJ Styles. I would have given it a lot more if it had been longer, because I wanted this match to be like 20 minutes. Just real main event material. Fantastic match throughout. These guys are just fucking so entertaining and can cook up anything great. And yeah, it did not disappoint besides it just being really short. So that's my match of the night. Do you agree?
I do agree.
All right. Fantastic. So to run it back, promo of the night, Randy Orton returns to Raw. Wrestler of the night, Randy Orton. Match of the night, Randy Orton versus AJ Styles. It is a Randy sweep.
As it often is.
All right, so do you want to answer some questions right now?
Oh.
Okay, so we're going to start with Twitch. Miriam has 2 questions. We'll do one of them first, and then we'll go to YouTube, and then we'll circle back. So first up, Miriam asks, do you think they're building up the Mustafa and Mansoor stuff to have a big payoff at the upcoming Saudi show? I didn't think about that. They might have them win the tag titles there. I think that would make sense.
That's a possibility. I hadn't considered that as a possibility at all either. So, but yeah, I think that that's a pretty safe bet.
Mhm.
It does make me worry a little bit because of the history of Mansoor and the Saudi shows, where Mansoor gets over, and then we never hear of him again,
Yeah, but
except for on 5 Live.
if he wins the tag titles, or if they win the tag titles, then
If just Mansoor does.
either they will get the tag titles there, or it will be Mansoor versus Mustafa, in kind of their climax match. Either way,
I need them to be friends for a very long time, and now that they have matching jackets,
yeah.
tough shit. They're stuck.
But now Mustafa has that jacket to where if they do have a falling out, he can like throw it in the trash.
Stop. How dare you?
But yeah, to answer your question more directly, yes, I do think that there will be a huge payoff at the Saudi show.
Yeah, and I do think that they'll get the tag titles there.
Mm.
It just makes sense.
Yeah.
I just don't know when the Saudi shows are, or when the Saudi show is.
Yeah, I don't know when it is either. All right, so Milam has a question on YouTube. When are you guys going to do a live show of any company? I don't. Is this like live watch along, or live as in us in a space together? Can answer both.
There's a lot of possibilities. The next time we'll do a live show in the same space together will be for the Mike Romies. Tune in, January.
You could do it earlier
2022.
than that. I mean, we should try and transition to us eventually sitting in front of the same camera. So we don't have to deal with the
We
Wi-Fi.
do have a nice couch now, actually.
Yeah, but Eldon's going to be doing his thing, and he'll probably be caught on the mic.
What's the point of having the nice couch then?
We wouldn't be able to do it in the living room anyway, because we'd have to run off my PC.
No.
Would love to do a live watch along though to something, maybe an Impact pay-per-view.
Yeah, we could do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah. But kind of a direct answer, would love to eventually do like us sitting together. Oh, wait, I completely misread the question. When are you guys going to go to a live show? I completely misread that. We're going to AEW Grand Slam.
Oh yeah, we are. We bought our tickets on impulse.
Yeah. We were kind of we were like the day before they were released, we were kind of lazy about it, and we're just like it's gonna be expensive, let's just not. But then like we saw the tickets were like $50. So,
and we heard that Daniel Bryan was going to debut that day, and I said, well, that's my birthday twin, so I go wherever he goes.
yeah, I think were we at like a bar or something?
We were at a Yankees game.
Oh, we were at the Yankees game, right?
Yeah, there wasn't much happening at the time, so I was like, hey, what about this?
Yeah.
That's the best part about baseball.
All right, so Miriam has a question. If you could only ever eat one sweet thing for the rest of your life, what would it be? Oh, one sweet thing for the rest of my life.
Not to be that bitch, but if we're talking about if we're not talking about candy, like exclusively, I would probably say like nectarines. I don't know why. I would base my entire diet off of those. But if we are talking candy, I've kind of gotten into Haichu, specifically their plain yogurt flavor. That's one of my new favorite things. I could probably they've got a lot of varieties too. I could probably live off that for a while. or just like eat that exclusively as far as candy is concerned.
That would just be the one sweet thing you could have. I assume you could have other foods, but the only sweet
Right,
thing you can
yeah.
have is that.
Like my only dessert.
Yeah.
Really?
I would go with Muddy Buddies or Puppy Chow.
Puppy chow. Please don't call it Muddy Buddies.
Puppy Chow
Capitalism.
would be the one sweet thing that I have.
Or like if we're talking like a dessert.
Ooh, actually, I changed my mind. Churros. I'd have churros the rest of my life.
If we're talking dessert, cheesecake's always good.
Cheesecake is good.
Maybe cheesecake. Cheesecake or like tiramisu.
Mm-hmm.
Love tiramisu. Or not to toot my own horn, I make a really awesome, it's called a caramel apple charlotka. It's a Russian apple cake. It's super yummy. It's one of my favorite things because it's very fallish. So maybe that.
Okay.
As I've gotten older, my like candy tolerance has gone down so far
Mm-hmm.
that I'm just like, fruit is sweet.
Yeah. I also oh no. I was gonna say Rice Krispie treats, but I there was a time I got like one of those massive ones, like the huge slabs of Rice Krispie treats, and I tried just like eating as much of it as I could, and it hurt after a while. So I'm gonna stick with churros. Be the one sweet thing I could eat.
I think that's fair.
All right, so that's all the questions we have. Liz, would you like to close out this Raw?
If you tuned in tonight, thank you so much for tuning in. If you tuned in the future, thank you so much for tuning in. Happy almost fall solstice. Please tune in tomorrow night for our NXT podcast, where we talk about NXT.
Oh, NXT is gonna fail soon.
Oh, we talk about all. It's when we talk about all of the things that we loved about NXT that have been cruelly torn from our fucking hands.
It's just gonna be us talking about how much we love Dakota Kai and Johnny Gargano.
How much I miss Tyler. Anywho, we'll put on a bright, smiling face for you. So, tune in.
Probably
Who
still be a
knows?
fun
Maybe
show.
it'll be fun.
There will be. Triple H is so much better with adaptive booking than Vince is. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Follow and subscribe. If you subscribe on Twitch, you can get access to the past 2 weeks of episodes, so you can catch up without having to wait for me to put it on YouTube. I don't know when this episode's gonna go out tomorrow. I'm working tomorrow, so who knows? And you get access to all of our emotes too. Our YouTube is the Pinfall Podcast. You can see all of our past episodes on there. If you're watching on YouTube, definitely check out the live show. We can talk to you live. It's twitch.tv/the Pinfall Podcast. And if you have a question for us and you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment of what your question is. We'll answer it in the next one. Our Twitter is at Pinfall Podcast. I'm at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Elaine23. And thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for NXT. In the meantime, have a fantastic Tuesday morning or Monday night.